Fox News alert on this. President Trump vowing to work toward a brighter future for America's closest ally as the United Kingdom faces uncertainty over its leadership and its ties to the European Union. During today's news conference with outgoing British Prime Minister Theresa May, the president said he's looking to reach a new trade deal with Great Britain. The president also predicted the UK will follow through with its plans to exit the European Union, or Brexit, with a deadline looming later this year. Watch.
I would think that it will happen, and it probably should happen. This is a great, great country, and it wants its own identity. It wants to have its own borders. It wants to run its own affairs. This is a very, very special place, and I think it deserves a special place. I think it will happen, and I believe the Prime Minister's brought it to a very good point where something will take place in the not-too-distant future. I think she's done a very good job. I believe it would be good for the country, yes.
Those comments coming as the events in the UK turned from pomp and circumstance to politics and protesting with people in the streets, some of them. First of all, Steve, I just want to get your point of view on the relationship as May exits. It seemed like the president was very kind and giving in terms of his compliments.
But that's what he's like in person with people anyway. I mean, that's the thing you don't see in public. I certainly experienced that when I interviewed him the other week. I'd never met him before, and you just really get that. And you can see how he has a close working relationship with these leaders. He's an outgoing person. But I think the important thing here to take from this so far, from this visit, is the relationship between the two countries. Because what I think is really important here is not so much, we've been talking about the protests and so on. It's actually it's not the reception he's getting that's important. It's what he's bringing, his enthusiasm and positive attitude to the relationship. The way I've been putting it is that he's making the special relationship special again. And the reason is that under Obama, it really cooled off. I was there in 10 Downing Street working for David Cameron when he was Prime Minister, when the Obamas came for their state visit. And I literally remember in the negotiations in the run-up to that, there's this whole conversation between the US side and the British side, that President Obama would not use the words special relationship. So please don't ask him to say it, and please don't say it yourself, because he's not going to say it, and we don't want to look like we're rebuffing you. Why? Because Obama prioritized the relationship with the EU, even with Germany, and didn't believe in it. And so what you're seeing here with President Trump is kind of igniting that close connection.
Do you think
that's great news for both countries?
Trump's take on it, I'll be quick, Dagan. Do you think his take on Brexit still coming is accurate?
Yes, and I think the reason is that Theresa May's replacement as leader of the Conservative Party and Prime Minister, whoever it is, will be someone who actually believes in Brexit. Remember, Theresa May she campaigned against it. She never believed in it. And so you're going to replace her, whoever of these many candidates is going to be, with someone who actually really passionately wants to make it happen.
We are reminded over and over again by President Trump, by the Queen herself, by Theresa May, the reason for this visit. A state visit, a formal visit, only the third state visit hosted by Britain and the Queen in the history of U.S. presidents, or at least under Queen Elizabeth's reign. It's because of the 75th anniversary of the D-Day invasion, of Operation Overlord. And we are Britain's ally. We stand with Britain in prosperity and in shared sacrifice. And I just want 150,000 brave young men from the U.S., Canada, and the United Kingdom basically defeated because of the D-Day invasion, with more than 4,000 casualties, 4,414 Allied deaths. That is why we were there, and that's the most important thing to take away from this special relationship.
Amen. And maybe someone should have clued in the mayor of London, Sadiq Khan. I want to watch, if we can.
He's a preposterous
kind of a going back and forth between our president and the mayor, who is still making news today, or trying to. Watch this.
I think he's been a not very good mayor, from what I understand. He's done a poor job. Crime is up, a lot of problems. And I don't think he should be criticizing a representative of the United States that can do so much good for the United Kingdom. We talked about it before. He should be positive, not negative. He's a negative force.
It's the sort of behaviour I'd expect from an 11-year-old, but it's for him to decide how he behaves. It's not for me to respond in a like manner. I think it's beneath me to do childish tweets and name calling. I'm not offended in the slightest. People tell me nothing this president does should surprise you.
So what I thought also was interesting is the president acknowledged that Mayor Khan wanted to have a private meeting with the president.
Corbyn. But I think that what's a ridiculous character Sadiq Khan is, he's used the word respond there. He's not respond. He attacked President Trump. He wrote a whole article gratuitously attacking the president. And so the president was responding to that. What President Trump is saying about Sadiq Khan is exactly right. He is seen as a failure in London. Crime, especially knife crime, has gone up in a staggering way. And but the reason he's still there is that it's a very left-wing city, and this is all about his re-election. He is pandering to his base.
Theresa May's response to him, I thought, was very grown-up when she said, what I would say to them is that the conversations we are having here today are about the future of the most important relationship between the U.S. and the UK, that it is the greatest alliance the world has ever seen, a very special relationship.
Yes,
and she went on to talk about the economies of both. But that was her point, is it's not about this, it's about the future.
Right. Basically saying, you're the mayor. I'm still the prime minister until I act. Well, okay, let's move on.